Chat, we got ourselves a juicy 1v1. It is TRK versus AJ. Under special circumstances, AJ is in EU, so he is going to get some decent EU ping. Oh my goodness! TRK was on the verge of putting in the nastiest starting game clip I've ever seen. But AJ does get the save. I'm going to take a brief moment to look at the ping here. 92 for TRK, 24 for AJ. That's how you know we are on EU servers. TRK, the reset in the first. We are playing without the North American on high ping because we've done matchups like this before, but it always involves both players having high ping. This time it is going to be only TRK, although he is used to playing these high ping matches on EU servers, and AJ is more used to playing on the 20 ping he's playing with now. So about as equal as we're going to get between these two, except for maybe at Gamers 8, the tournament that these guys are likely practicing for. So trk511 chat, if for some reason you don't know who TRK is, he gets an air dribble. Great coverage from AJ. There's actually a solid fake by TRK, but AJ able to cover it. And he's going to wave dash his way to this play. He is one of the better wall dashers in the game right now. I think Nupo is probably the only other person that is on point with him. But as I was saying about TRK, he is, according to his team, the Falcons, the best 1v1er. Maybe not even just in his region, but in the world, if you ask Khaled. Now, tons of players have given Khaled, that distinction. Great reset wave dash by AJ. It's going to be such a highly mechanical game. A lot of players would give that to Khaled, and the reason why is because he certainly has more tournament performances to back that up. But for a long time now, I think since I first had Khaled on stream, he has always told me TRK is the better ones player. If you're looking for the best possible matchup, you should get TRK. So TRK looking to prove his teammates right, and the rest of the Middle East region who believe him to be the best. Can he take down what is North America's number 2? I think you can pretty safely say that AJ is North America's number 2. Nice shot by TRK, but AJ does cover it. First killer has just been truly unbeatable when he's playing. The problem is he actually hasn't played in every opportunity. For example, in the qualifiers and the similar events to this crew battle format that have been played recently, AJ has played his team's 1v1s because they have felt better with him out there. Now, it's nice to have the number 1 and number 2 option from your region, but certainly first killer feels like he is the most unstoppable player when he's on his game. So will AJ be playing phases 1v1s? I imagine he'll at least play a few. Another reset save from AJ. If not, AJ might just play, the entirety of the event for his team. Not sure what we'll see from them. TRK up 2-1. He's had a ton of offense. AJ's had to play from his net so far in this series. He is creeping out upfield, and I think that got TRK to get rid of the ball. That nice pressure led to the early flick from TRK and the opportunity for AJ to both steal his corner boost and take control of the possession. So all of that comes down just a really smart jab of the controller stick near TRK, enough to get him to panic slightly. But AJ has found himself right back on defense. He pre-jumps in order to protect the ball, and it actually ends up working out. Even though TRK doesn't challenge, he's able to fall down to the ground and still take control. So an air dribble, a reset. He has to go low 50, and he does! He kind of flubbed it a little bit. I don't think he was necessarily trying to drop it as low as it went. But the important part is he set himself up to be able to 50 it afterwards. Ooh, he just barely clipped it. That was a couple pixels away from squeezing past him. But instead, AJ forces it in, ties up the game. AJ, the wall dashes to get the ball moving quick. TRK covers the low 50 despite coming off the back wall. It's harder to cover the low plays when you play from that position, but not for TRK. AJ now, the ground set up. TRK jumps so early. AJ's going to have that read every time. I don't think you can give this early of a jump because you have to be tough to read as a defender. And TRK jumps from so far away. I mean, no matter what AJ was planning, he's got time to completely rethink it and just adjust his 50 based on what TRK is doing. Now AJ with a kick out possession in space. His front flip is soft enough to make TRK get forced into a save. Not enough to take control. He's going to steal the corner in midfield boost. TRK going to have to evade a demo here, which he does well. And now a quick dribble, using the 30 boost he had to speed the dribble instead of saving it for the late outplay, which is an interesting decision. Normally I feel like players would drop that down, play the dribble slower, and save all the boost they can to make the final shot, but he just wanted the ball moving faster sooner. Didn't work out for him this time. And now AJ with tons of field and a 1-goal lead. He's going to try and bait TRK as deep into the midfield as possible. He's going air dribble, low 50. TRK got the save. The saves from both these guys have been insane. The offense is there. It's not that they've been taking bad takes through the air, but saves have just been perfect. This time, AJ and TRK prove me wrong. TRK does miss this one. AJ gets the reset. TRK, even if he wanted to, doesn't really have the boost to challenge that far out. If you're going to challenge that far out and, you know, force to 50 him in the air, you have to have something to work with when the ball hits the ground. And he would have had absolutely nothing, so he'd need a perfect challenge, which he's not likely to get. So he's glued to the wall, and AJ able to outplay him. Another low coverage. These guys have done a great job of covering low. I wonder if we're going to start seeing them take a bit more risks and shoot high and see if it works out. I think both of them are trying to avoid shooting high because the clears from a high shot are also much stronger, much, you know, better for clearing out the offense. But at some point, these guys got to take some risks and look to not low 50 off the air dribbles. All right, chat. Next field is Aquadome. Game number 2 on Aquadome. The story, surprisingly, has been the defense of these two, and really just the saves. I don't even want to say defense necessarily, because both of them have just been making spectacular goal line saves on what are very mechanical offensive plays. We'll see if that continues to be the trend. These two are obviously very mechanical players. TRK got his boost stolen. He's not going to try and leave the play. In fact, he went all the way down to the net with 7. Even though he didn't score, he got a good enough touch that he was able to steal AJ's boost. And there's a much better chance he ends up on offense now, but AJ has slowed the game down here. Caught the dribble, low 50. This time, TRK does not cover both options well enough. Such a danger. This is an Nexto dribble, chat. Nexto never goes low 50, though, I don't think. Does anybody know? Does the bot that's, you know, at least GC at 1v1s, does he ever low 50? I feel like he just always flicks it over you. AJ taking to the skies. TRK did pre-jump it, and that might make the save tough. Hard to get back down to the ground and get back up. TRK thought about meeting him at the ceiling, decided not to, and just could not react to the reset. Placed well. AJ up 2-0. TRK not able to gain control of this ball, but AJ hands it over quickly. These two fighting out for possession at the midfield. I think it is going to come eventually in favor of TRK, because this is the first real chance. They were back and forth without a real opportunity, and that one was a real one. AJ made it look like it wasn't. A great early challenge before TRK really got the bounce dribble going. That was definitely a scoring opportunity for TRK that was passed up. AJ, can he carry this ball away without any boost? He does a good job side flipping it. TRK from the ceiling. Too strong of a first touch. The wave dash catch needed to keep the ball closer. If you got that going supersonic speed, the ball that is, and you're having to race just to catch up with it, it takes away your ability to adjust the defenders, 50 or change the direction of the ball. So as soon as it's going full supersonic, you're just chasing it down, and AJ's going to be able to have a really easy save. Nice shot. He sees TRK turning close, and he just launches a rolling ground shot. TRK wanted the shadow near the play. AJ says no. AJ, wow. I mean, both these players had this kind of offense early in the series in game one. The difference was both of them were saving it like crazy. And this time, TRK not able to save the low play. Decides to go up the side wall. And can't get back down in time. AJ now defending TRK's dribble. Not only does he get the save, but he's able to 50 it away from the direction of TRK. Which means an immediate possession for him. He tried to get a little juke on a ground dribble to get TRK to miss, but he couldn't get it inside the post. TRK needs some offense. He still has tons of time. 2 minutes, 4 goals. Easy to get for a guy like TRK. Not a great reset. He got it in such an awkward position. He couldn't air roll and spin his car around in time to make the right kind of move. So he ends up just dropping it to AJ. And a fifth, man. 5-0. AJ's defense has stayed solid. TRK hasn't been able to stay as consistent. He's going to take to the skies once again. 50 with AJ, or not even a 50. Somehow he just demos him. Wave dash back to the midfield. Air dribble. Bump potentially. No, he's going to go air dribble. 50! AJ keeps it out! Absolutely nothing can get past this guy. Maybe TRK is avoiding people dying of cringe in chat, but an air dribble bump didn't seem like a bad idea in that position. Instead, tried to force it through the brick wall that is AJ, and right now nothing is making it through. A minute 12, 5 boosts to work with, but a really good bounce. Oh my goodness, what a save. AJ able to react to the power shot. Nothing is getting past phase AJ. Oh, look at that shot. There it is. Hey, it took TRK a little bit too long to get this offense going, but it actually isn't too late. It's still possible. Solid reset. AJ decided to turn to try and challenge as he saw him set it up. He's definitely going to need a solid kickoff game, and he has it right now. Great kickoff start. Not sure he can afford to not score on any possession, though. It's okay if he doesn't score on the first shot, but he can't hand over possession. He certainly can't get demoed and then leave an open net like he just did. 6-1. AJ looking like he's going up 2-1 in the series. He is the cleanest wall dasher. I think we'll go ahead and say, I'll give him the title. If anybody I've watched, phase AJ is the cleanest wall dasher. He uses them the most efficiently with no mistakes, right? Everybody who's trying them out right now, they'll make mistakes, they'll overuse them, it'll put them themselves out of position. Great save from TRK. Game is over, so unfortunately it doesn't matter much. But AJ, that's not the case. AJ uses them exactly as much as he needs, and it feels like it just makes him faster and is not a downside at all for him. TRK, nice flick. Hey, maybe good for morale. Good for morale, potentially going into game number 3. TRK can at least remember game 1's performance, where he kept it close. TRK, clip for the road. He's going to need more than just one reset. Game number 2 going to AJ as well. So we head to game number 3. 6 kickoff goals? Wait, AJ didn't have 6 kickoff goals. What are you talking about? TRK maybe needed 6 kickoff goals to get it back. It's not going to show us. 20 for AJ, 92 for TRK. People asking about ping. TRK needs a hot start, I would say, beginning of this game. The series is certainly controlled by AJ, and that previous game did not look good for TRK fans. Now, he showed the offense early, so he's certainly not out of this series. Just needs to clean up the defense and a little bit of the execution. But AJ is going to start up in the lead, which is never great for morale. If there's anybody who has a solid mental, unfazed by slight swings in games, it is ones players. TRK, is he going to be able to stay with this ball? He's trying to do his best to put pressure on. He is forced into a shadow. Air dribble for AJ. The air dribble bump. Chat, it's time to die of cringe. I know AJ's chat always does. But hey, this is a solid position. We talked about earlier, Jack, tons of air dribble bumps against Daniel earlier. It's a great play. I mean, if defenders are not around and not prepping to make that save, you should absolutely go to it as many times as you can. And really the best way is to never let that shadow position on the slow dribble get set up. As soon as that gets set up, you got to worry about air dribble bump. So playing a little bit more aggressive. AJ just absolutely blew this game. Not open. I mean, 3 goals is not much, but 3 in quick succession. All of a sudden, he's right back in the same position he was game 2, where he's in control. TRK playing maybe a little bit more panicked when you're playing from behind multiple goals. AJ with time and space. Well, TRK challenged early this time. AJ couldn't see him behind the ball, so he did pop it, but then he baits him in and pops it over the top. 4-0 for AJ. AJ has just looked so solid. He couldn't read that first challenge, and then the second one, TRK came from a position that was very easy to see. So he knew he was turning around to challenge again. 4-0. TRK back to his corner. Pick up the 100. AJ tried to demo him on the ground. Didn't connect. Now, TRK was hoping for a power shot. Ball was moving quickly. Maybe it would have been hard to slow down, and that was the best shot, but it doesn't feel like it. TRK couldn't get over the top of this one. Another air dribble bump for AJ. 5-0. TRK has to have jumped earlier. It's going to be hard to react, but it's tough. We saw him challenge early, get the ball popped over the top of him. We see him waiting patiently. He's getting air dribble bumped. Right now, AJ just has been one step ahead on the mind games of 1v1. But TRK getting one on the board much quicker than he did last time. I think it took him until the 2-minute on the clock mark to get one. Now he's got one within the first couple. He's going to dive here to this back corner. Is AJ going to be able to punish? He's going to have to double on the ground to do so. And it looks like he's not going to be able to. So great decision by TRK. In fact, he's got a goal. And hey, I like that mix-up. A bit of a risk. But something's got to change for TRK as the series goes on. And because he took that slight risk, he got AJ to attempt to punish him in what was going to be a tough mechanical play. The double off the ground was going to be the only way to get there fast enough, and he makes a mistake. Now TRK got 2 in a row. TRK, the flick. He couldn't get control of it faster. I think he wanted the flick earlier, and that would have been better off. But he had to get himself a little bit more underneath it. He got AJ to jump. He got AJ to miss. This is great for the mental, if you ask me. Finally, it can feel like TRK has control of the game. You get somebody to jump early and to miss on a challenge, and you know you got the better of them. 3 in a row as he tries to work his way back in this game number 3. AJ going to be able to gain possession at the midfield. He doesn't want the air dribble. Wasn't the best of setups for it. I think that was an indication there that he's going to prefer to play on the ground. He wave dashes through the ball and demos TRK. He stops the bleeding. It was 3 in a row before that goal. TRK waiting for the high bounce, the air dribble. He wants to go 50 this time. He scores it. This makes much more sense to me. These saves are really hard, but both these players have done such a good job, and I realize now that AJ missed the 100, so maybe that changed the way he wanted to defend this. Maybe had he gotten the 100, we would have continued to see the consistency in net by AJ, who hadn't let a single air dribble 50 go in yet. He got possession, another ground dribble, and just a quick flick. TRK giving space. You know, is there a world in which TRK can maybe challenge there at the midfield? Might be the play. AJ has looked so good every time he's been allowed to stop the ball on his car and set up a dribble with space. And just watching from AJ's perspective, you can feel it. Like he's... Oh, nice shot from TRK. You can feel that he's going to score. And when it feels that obvious, probably something that the TRK should be switching up to not let him get to that spot. It's a perfect reset over the top of AJ, though. He's kept it close ever since his surge, but the problem is it's been back and forth, and he dug himself such a deep hole at the beginning of this game. Game 3s, when down 2-0, are often considered to be must-wins. Reverse sweeps are just so hard. This time, TRK's reset involves him falling too far away from the ball. Can't protect it. He's able to get this save without falling inside the net. So will that be beneficial for him? Nice interception of the pinch AJ was going for. AJ going to pull the ball out to midfield. Start yet another dribble, and why not? He's looked so clean with this attack. Great save from TRK. In fact, he might be able to recover faster. He got bumped out by AJ, so will win the race to the midfield. And now can he play this smart? No, he played it a little bit rushed. And even if AJ wasn't there, that shot was at best just going to get past AJ. It wasn't going to be in the net. Minute left to go. TRK, will he turn? He will. But AJ just approaching the ball and forcing TRK to make that immediate touch takes away a ton of his good options, right? What TRK wants is to be able to just catch the ball, get a possession at midfield. AJ knows that, so even just driving out and putting in a pretty weak fake challenge is enough to force TRK to instead tap the ball into the corner, and now his options are way more limited. So it may seem like, you know, TRK's offense has fallen off, or is maybe not playing as good as he could, but the credit is to AJ and the way he's defending. Another fake challenge. This time TRK doesn't really fall for it, but the execution on the air dribble isn't great. He actually still placed it really well on the catch. He has to score on this possession, and he needs a kickoff goal. He tried to carry AJ away, and AJ flipping right back into the ball. Has the ball go over the top of him. That flick needed to be stronger. You know what TRK was going for. He was trying to backflip it up over the top of AJ, but he didn't get it. So gain number 3 going to go to AJ as well. It's going to have to be a reverse sweep for TRK if he wants to come back in this best of 7. Gain number 4. AJ and TRK. AJ has certainly had the upper hand. There were a few minutes of gameplay from TRK where we saw what we're going to need to see if we want him to win this match. If we're TRK fans, TRK is going to get a first here. Great start. Good sign when a TRK dribble is able to finish off in a goal. Great patience there, not to overreact and tap that ball into AJ. TRK was able to avoid that bump from AJ. And we'll see if that ends up being the reason. No, you can't get back in time. He actually dove directly at the ball. I want to see. AJ didn't shoot on. He just tapped it off the backboard for good reason. And then TRK just launched himself at the ball, which was never going to be able to do it, but he also had a pretty low chance of doing it if he just tried to fly across the net. I think he just needed to be grounded. He needed to approach that ball not from the back wall in order to have a chance. AJ double reset. TRK takes it away, and TRK scores. Now, this is a problem with AJ's game normally. It hasn't been a problem at all in the first 3 games, but he does like to go for stuff like double flip resets, and on occasion can leave an open net. Maybe he's feeling a little bit better after 3 games and a 3-0 lead. He's ready to try and pull out the double resets, but that is a dangerous game. TRK, a very solid ones player. And I wouldn't want to give him any momentum. He is about to score a third. 3-1 for TRK. I think this is the first, like maybe the biggest lead that TRK has had all series long. Check, maybe correct me. I think game 1 started somewhat close, but was still in favor of AJ. So a 2-goal lead. Maybe TRK gaining a bit of confidence here in this position. 23 boost. You can see TRK's jump is completely a fake. He doesn't want to use any of it. He knows he needs to save it all. Now he's going to try a dribble all the way from the back wall. He gets the reset over the top. No, AJ able to save it high. But a good enough shot that the counter isn't going to be for free. But I tell you what, AJ in this position has been free all day long. And that stops now. A cut dribble into the corner. Never stood a chance of scoring. And not only that, but it doesn't seem like he's going to be able to hold on to boost. And not only that, he's going to get scored on. AJ showing that he can make mistakes. He's been so perfect on offense. And finally, he's starting to give some windows to TRK when he just didn't allow that for the first 3 games. AJ off the bounce. Sorry, TRK off the bounce. Trying to get the late 50. Now the resets. AJ saves it once again. AJ's defense on the air dribbles has been about as good as you could possibly hope for. TRK's done a good job of mixing up 50s and resets, you know, trying to make it tough for AJ to have the right read on the saves. It just doesn't matter. AJ's had almost all of them. This time, he saves it well enough to earn himself a second goal. AJ cannot get anything on this flick. Tried to chase down TRK, couldn't, but he is holding on to possession still. TRK faking the challenge from the ceiling. No, coming from the ceiling. And almost got away with hitting the 50. But if you're coming from the ceiling, I think you're most likely going to have to deal with 50ing the air dribbler because they see you taking a risky position and they're going to bank on the fact that they'll probably be able to come out ahead if they just protect the ball. TRK needs to hold on to this lead. It's been dwindling away. No more second chances for TRK. AJ gets the demo. He's not going to be able to get a shot before the respawn. In fact, with how little boost he has, he's actually going to have to completely leave the play. So TRK, tons of space. I don't think AJ got the 100, did he? Did that one spawn in time? Oh, it must have. He's got more than enough boost to work with now. TRK leaving the play. I feel like he had a decent amount of boost, but he gives AJ a ton of separation, the kind of separation that he has performed so well with. TRK, the bounce dribble, air dribble bump. AJ avoids it. He doesn't get able to get a huge clear. And unfortunately, TRK can't fake there. He doesn't have a ton of boost. He doesn't want to slam it because for sure AJ will save that. But the problem is there was no angle for the fake. I mean, that's what he tried to do. But it doesn't matter. AJ's going to be going the same way no matter what, whether it's a fake or quick shot. Nice flick. We tried to see that from TRK late in the last game. This one is much cleaner in execution. That 90-degree in the backflip. Phase AJ can't stop it. TRK had what should have been a free possession, but maybe tried for the quick shot, so he handed it away. Now, AJ through the air has the reset, uses the musty to go underneath. He has just been 50ing on the past few plays. Oh, he didn't even musty. He just pulled away from it, and then I think he wave dashed as he hit the ground. I don't know if the wave dash really helped him do anything. But he wasn't setting up a musty. He was just trying to get the top side of his car perfectly positioned for when TRK came to challenge. But a minute left to go. It is about time that TRK can start thinking about the clock and playing it a little bit to his advantage. AJ just has not been beat on an air dribble 50. it's insane. And air dribble 50s are safer. Maybe the reason why TRK continues to try and go for them instead of maybe air dribble bumps. But he's got to know now, they just aren't going to score. AJ's been so clean. Long shot for TRK, not in. AJ forced to make an awkward clear, though. The important part for TRK right now, not to leave the net open. 30 seconds left to go. The last thing you want to do is go for an extremely risky play and leave AJ a free net. He's done a good job of keeping possession now, but that might have been the last touch for him. AJ, clear downfield. TRK trying to avoid the bump. He actually didn't. He got slightly bumped. AJ gonna go low. Nice coverage from TRK. This is certainly gonna hit the ground. A great final save. AJ's been going low all game. TRK bets on it this time around and is able to clear it. TRK trying to work his way back. Game number 5. TRK and AJ here at Wasteland. Wasteland is going to have to be where TRK continues his streak because he is staring down a reverse sweep as the only way he'll be able to take the match. AJ a reset. TRK faking going high and then was trying to prep for that wave dash that might have tipped the ball up into the net. Instead, it went to the back wall. Had TRK had patience enough to stay grounded, he likely would have been able to save the continuation, but TRK to the skies. Resets. Nice placement. Could have gone up to the top left if he wanted to. We'll see what AJ felt. Just reacting late. I mean, he's trying to prep for the use of the flip in the air, and it never comes. And because he's driving at all times, he doesn't want to slow down and stop moving. It just naturally pulls him out of position in net. So the longer you can threaten like TRK did, the more and more out of position that defender's going to get until it's possible to just land and slot it behind him. Direct kickoff goal for AJ. He immediately regains his 1-goal lead. TRK takes the corner, which means AJ is playing low. Interesting bump. Fortunately, it doesn't do much to put AJ out of position. He ends up right where he wants to be, which is on the ball and with 100 boosts. TRK forced off this play by AJ. Threatening the demo. Now the dribble. TRK should be back in time. AJ puts it over the top of him. He got this reset in an awkward position. It didn't seem like he was going to be able to make anything out of it, but it's AJ we're talking about. So he makes sure to get back underneath the ball. He kind of got the reset on the right side of the ball and then found his way back underneath it to get the front flip to net, which is something you're only going to see a few people be able to do. TRK, a reset of his own. Going low. The pinch, it's in! Did TRK get no touch? AJ just pinched it directly in. I don't know if it was like a 50 here on the wall. I think it was just a direct pinch. Oh yeah, TRK was not able to touch it at all. I think he would have redirected it high. So just a perfect pitch from AJ directly to the net. TRK bumped off this kickoff. 4-1. 4-1 lead in the game. 3-1 lead in the series. It's going to have to be some serious magic from TRK from here on out. TRK on the air dribble has been defaulting to going low the past few times. The reason why this one is so easy to save is because the moments where a decision has to be made is so far away from the net. You want to arc that air dribble setup to where it's landing around, you know, the 18-yard box, just outside the net where everything is threatened. And if you take that high shot, the defender won't be able to react. The reason why AJ can stay on the ground and isn't too worried about TRK's dribble is because he knows he's far enough away that there's a good chance he can just react to use of the flip. So then TRK is forced to the ground, and there isn't tons of options. You almost want to be, if anything, start your air dribble so that it lands way too far away, because then you might actually be able to play on the second bounce. We see players play on the second bounce a lot. But TRK on these air dribbles has frequently been right in the dead zone where he's not really threatening much. And these early challenges haven't worked. AJ, I mean, we say early challenges haven't worked, but it also hasn't worked to back away from him either. He's just been truly seeming to make the right decision at all times. AJ. Carry from the wall. Not towards the net, though. Just across the field. So TRK not going to panic much, but he wasn't able to gain possession. He's going to try and save this one directly into the sky as a way to take control of it. And he has succeeded in doing so. AJ was not able to get a shot there, so now we'll have some open field. He's got to score on basically all these possessions. He's going to go once again for an air dribble into a late 50. And AJ has been perfect on those. I think we need to see something different from TRK, even if that means not going into an air dribble and maybe trying to play on the ground a little bit more. Air dribble late 50. He has tons of evidence so far in this game that he's not going to be able to get that past AJ. Bounce dribble instead. He sees an opening, the power shot, and it's a third. AJ recovered about as well as you could hope for. A great half flip into the pads, but doesn't matter. TRK is still able to find his opening. Kickoff wins are certainly killer for TRK if AJ keeps getting them. TRK the pre-jump. AJ tries to bump him. It doesn't even matter. The ball was nowhere close to the net. Even if he connected on the bump, he'd have to go all the way back out and then try and actually make it a shot. TRK, it's a decent 50, but because he backflipped, you can't follow it very quickly, so he's not going to be able to shoot off of it. Oh, AJ, he has looked so saucy. TRK, he left the party. Is he still in the match? I think that was just unfortunate timing, disconnect from the party. The side flip, not going to cut it with AJ snaking around on the ground. AJ's offense has been truly so versatile. He's done it in the air. He's done it on the ground. He's done it anywhere you want him to. And he's got another low 50. TRK trying to pre-jump. He'll demo him. The hope for TRK fading a little bit with a minute left to go. He's got 5 goals to make up. Wall to air dribble for TRK. AJ faked the kickoff. TRK did have the read. Not a bad play from AJ. Fake kickoffs do frequently just result not in immediate goals, you know, longer goals. So even though he did let TRK score, he at least slowed it down a little bit. With 50 seconds left to go, I think if he could buy that much time on every single possession, he would be okay. And not all of them are going to go to TRK goals, but we probably won't see him fake a direct kickoff here. TRK, another great possession. He's going to have to clutch out yet another 50. He didn't go reset. The air dribbles, the 50s. AJ's a brick wall. They might as well not be shots the way AJ's covering them. Not only that, but he is stealing them. He is turning them into goals for himself, which is, you know, another level to a save. TRK, he's got an open net. AJ tried to bump him. He missed on the shot. Oh, but he gets the demo. And now he just needs to get back to the ball. But it's another one of those cases where he wasn't positioned well enough after either a demo or a good challenge. And AJ just outplayed himself. So 16 seconds, 4 goals. Possible? Not necessarily. Likely? Certainly not. AJ now. He feels it. He's feeling the win. TRK throws the GGs. He's turtled. AJ will get the win for North America. Got the better of TRK in 5.